playing with a toy, alone on his father's couch, staring out a window, his dark eyes empty. The boy looked like he needed a friend, Ava announced, so she got a pencil and a sheet of paper and sat down at her kitchen table. "Dear Tyshaun," she began to write in neat block letters. Before their lives came apart, the two kids had little in common other than their ages. Ava, who was white, was a Daisy Scout and wanted nothing more than to become a cheerleader. Day after day, she practiced cartwheels in the dirt and grass behind her home, which overlooked a neighbor's bucolic horse farm. She had lived almost all her life in Townville, a quiet 4,000-person swath of countryside in the northwest corner of South Carolina known as the Upstate. Her dad had always worked in security or law enforcement, and he had always carried a gun, which she'd never thought much about, if at all. In a community with a single stoplight, at least 6 churches, and an abundance of backyard shooting ranges, most people believed in God and, just slightly less, in their right to bear arms. Townville sat on the eastern edge of a county in which 7 in 10 voters supported Donald Trump in 2016. Gable-roofed chicken houses stood among cow pastures and rolling fields of hay, wheat, corn, and soybeans, and everyone shopped at Dollar General, nicknamed the Townville Target. It was a world that, in Ava's mind, had always been safe, and always would be. That changed one afternoon in late September 2016, when she walked outside her school for recess just as a teenager drove up to the playground in a Dodge Ram, jumped out of the pickup, and pointed a gun. One of the bullets he fired struck 6-year-old Jacob Hall, a classmate whom Ava loved dearly. 3 days later, Jacob died. She was so overwhelmed by the loss and the terror of what she'd witnessed that a pediatrician later diagnosed her with post-traumatic stress disorder and recommended that the girl be homeschooled. Ava, who was prescribed both antipsychotics and antidepressants, began hitting herself and yanking out her eyelashes. In the months that followed, she detailed her torment in journals. "I can't stop feeling mad. No one ever listens to me. I hate guns." By then, Tyshaun, who is black, had known since as far back as his memory stretched about the bad things people could do with guns. On his dad's dresser in southeast Washington was a reminder, a 3-inch button inscribed with "Rest in Peace" that honored a family friend shot 2 blocks away. Tyshaun was growing up in a time of rapid gentrification across the 700,000-person city, but the change had yet to reach his side of the Anacostia River, where more than half the district's homicides occurred and nearly every other child grew up in poverty. It was amid this chaos that the boy lived part-time with his father, Andrew McFatter, in a row of 70-year-old duplexes around the corner from a liquor store. The vast majority of his overwhelmingly black section of the city rejected Trump in 2016, as did the rest of Washington, which cast just 1 in 25 votes for him. Parents in Tyshaun's neighborhood viewed firearms less like sacred objects than like carriers of an infectious disease. But they were everywhere, despite the district's strict gun laws, thanks to the demand from drug dealers and gang members, and a supply from surrounding states with much looser laws. The impact was perpetually devastating on the community, where many boys and girls learned to navigate peril before they learned to read. For kids in Tyshaun's neighborhood, the unrelenting threat of gun violence informed almost every aspect of their lives. The streets they walked down, the parks they visited, the pictures they drew, the nightmares they had, the number of parents they came home to. Tyshaun's mom, Donna Johnson, had fretted since he was born about how that environment would affect her son, so she decided that the best way to keep him safe was to keep him busy. He made s'mores at Cub Scout gatherings and took lessons for hockey, swimming, and software coding. He liked football and decided at a wiry 4'4" that he would play linebacker in the NFL for his hometown team when he grew up. Donna, a 30-year-old State Department security officer, was desperate to protect